You probably clicked on this video because you want to start reselling and making some good money. Well, luckily for you, I'm going to be showing you step by step exactly how to get started reselling in 2025. And this is the same exact business model that I used to make over $30,000 just last month. And I did all of this at just 18 years old, which means you can get started at any age. And make sure you watch to the end of this video so you don't miss out on any important information that might make your reselling journey much easier. Now you may be asking, what is reselling? Well, reselling is basically just buying products like colognes and clothes for the low and then selling them for a higher price. You also may be asking, where do I sell these products? Well, there are multiple different online marketplaces to sell these products, but the big three are eBay, Facebook, and Mercari. When it comes to reselling, there are 4 different aspects that you need to nail down in order to maximize your profits. The 4 different aspects that we're going to be going over in today's video are vendors, products, listings, and most importantly, marketing. Before I get started with the video, I also wanted to quickly add in that if you already know how to resell, I still highly recommend watching to the end of this video because I'm going to put you guys on some sauce. Now it's time I think we finally dive into the first category, which is going to be vendors. Some of you guys might be asking, what is a vendor? A vendor is basically a middleman that allows you to purchase products like this for the lowest price possible with the fastest shipping time. And each product has a different vendor, from clothing, cologne, electronics, and sunglasses. Basically anything that you can think of, there's probably a vendor for it. Having a good vendor is literally the most important thing when it comes to reselling. If you have a bad vendor, then 1, you might never receive your products, or 2, you're going to receive bad quality products that are probably never going to sell and you're just going to end up wasting your money. Now you may have seen creators online who promote free vendors, but those free vendors literally just give them commissions for the sales of the products. They don't care about what you get, they just want your money. Now if you guys want to avoid that and use the same exact vendors that I used to get my products, then you can just check the link that I sent you or check the link in this video. Now that you have access to the best quality vendors on the market, it's time to choose the product that you want to resell. Picking the right product when you start off reselling is essential in making sure that your product actually sells within the first week or 2 of you listing it. For example, if you try and sell this cologne over the summer, it's probably not going to sell because it's a winter scented cologne, which is exactly why I'd recommend a year-round cologne if you're going to start off reselling. Now the same logic here applies to every single product that you see. Reselling sunglasses in the winter might be a bad idea, but reselling hoodies in the winter is an awesome idea. However, if you don't know where to start reselling, then I highly recommend just starting with cologne. My vendors actually ship their colognes worldwide, but for the USA specifically, the shipping time is about 5 to 7 days. So as soon as your product arrives at your house, you're going to want to waste no time to list it in order to sell it as fast as possible. One of the most essential things when listing your products is lighting. So I recommend for the best lighting to just come outside to take pictures of your products because that's where natural lighting is. And the first picture that you're going to list is going to be the most appetizing. It's the one that the buyers are going to click on when they list their product. So I recommend placing it where the light is facing one side and then the shadows are on the other side. Make sure everything is included in the first picture. And then take the picture. And then now, I'm just going to speed up the video really quick and I'll take all the pictures and I'll show you guys exactly how to list them back inside. Alright, now let's go back inside. Alright guys, now I'm going to show you exactly how you're going to want to list your product. I'm using Facebook as an example, but this method works for any platform that you're selling on. So as you can see, my picture is very unique, but also detailed, so they're not going to take the listing down. Alright, so for the title of the cologne, just keep it very short and simple and don't add any extra words like brand new or like new to the title. And having a title like this is going to optimize your search listings so you always pop up first when somebody searches up your product. Now, when you're deciding a price on your product, just look up the product brand new and see what it costs. So Creed Aventus costs $510. And another great way to determine the value of your product is to search your exact item locally and you can price it a little bit lower than those other listings. So for example, if other listings on your platform or locally are $250, make it $20 cheaper to optimize the search listings once again. And then for the category of the product, you're going to want to choose men's fragrances or women's fragrances or just whatever category the product you're selling is. This will again boost your listings to the top of the search results. Now this is the most important part. When you're choosing a condition, never select new, always select used like new so Facebook or eBay or Mercari doesn't take your listing down for suspicion. When it comes to the description of your product, you're going to want to keep it very simple. The first thing you're going to want to do is copy and paste the title right into the top of your description. Then you're going to make up a story so the customer believes that this cologne was actually used and it's not brand new. Then, if you're willing to meet up, you can say you're willing to meet up. And if you're only willing to ship, say you're just willing to ship. But if you're willing to do both of them, then write both of them. And then also, you want to nurture your customers. So make them feel like they're getting a good deal and kind of make them feel at home. So you can say something like, feel free to ask any questions, and this will also optimize your listing. Sometimes your marketplace app is going to ask for more details. You don't really have to worry about these, but if you want, you can select the type of cologne. Another great feature that a lot of these marketplace apps have is the promote listing option, which basically just means you're running an ad for your own product. So what's going to happen is you're going to pay about $5, or I'd say like $3 to $5, and then every day Facebook is going to pump out ads to people. And this almost guarantees a sale if you have the money to set aside. Another great way to push your listings is by using buy and sell groups on Facebook. So what you can do is go to join groups on Facebook, and you can just join and list your product on as many buy and sell groups as possible. And this will essentially like promote your product for free. All right, so let's say you don't want to do a meetup with somebody in real life, or you just want to scale your reselling journey to the next level. You got to start selling online like eBay and Mercari, and you can even ship on Facebook. So once you get a sale, it is not that hard to ship out your item. I personally use a label printer to print out the labels that the apps send me, but a regular printer works just fine. Now, if you don't know how to ship out a product or print a label, then you can always look up a tutorial on TikTok exactly how to do it, just so you don't mess anything up, but it is a very simple process. When shipping out items like cologne or AirPods, I like to use small little poly mailer bags that you can find on Amazon. I also like to add bubble wrap in there just so the product doesn't get damaged in shipping. Now, for bigger products or like hoodies and different types of clothes, you can just use a used Amazon Prime box, or you can order some bigger poly mailers. If you order cologne from my cologne vendor, then they actually come shipped in bubble wrap, so you can just reuse that bubble wrap if you don't want to buy any. This is exactly what your package would look like before you ship it out, but obviously the customer's info would be on here. And as you can tell here, any size box will work for these Lululemon leggings or pretty much any other piece of clothes that you have. Alright, here's the bonus tip that I was talking about that I'm going to tell you even if you already know how to resell. A lot of people don't understand the power of social media when it comes to reselling. There are millions and billions of people out there who are looking for products but just can't afford them. So if you have a social media presence, you could easily push these products to those millions and billions of people. By listing your products for twice as much as you bought them for on platforms like Shopify and then putting them in your Instagram bio, you could easily get hundreds of sales that you wouldn't have normally gotten on platforms like eBay and Facebook. I recommend starting to grow an Instagram account as soon as you can, but in the meantime, you should definitely just focus on reselling on those platforms. This will allow you to build a lot of startup revenue that you can use to buy bulk orders to sell on your Shopify store. However, a lot of people don't use Instagram and TikTok to resell, and they still make over $10,000 a month, so it's completely optional. Now, if you guys really do implement everything that you heard and saw in this video, you're going to start seeing results in a few weeks. Now, with that being said, you're not going to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 your first month of reselling, but slowly over time, your accounts are going to grow on eBay, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever you're using, and you're going to slowly start building up to those goals. And just another reminder, if you're trying to use the same vendors that I used to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month, then just check the link in my bio or the link that I sent you if you commented on one of my videos. And with all that being said, I think it's time I wrap up the video. DM me on Instagram if you have any questions after you bought one of my vendors, and I'll surely respond within the same day.